So Bree talked a little bit about the please, and we're also going to talk about the other 3 steps in this skill, and that is the A, the B, and the C in ABC please. And so the A stands for accumulating positives. So this is a great skill that can be used over the next couple weeks. So when we're home, like I said earlier or in other videos, we might be feeling a lot of really uncomfortable emotions. And what we learn in DBT in that dialectical framework is that you can be sad and anxious and angry or whatever the uncomfortable emotion is, and also feel happiness or joy. And if we're not able to feel that, at least we might be able to feel content. And so with accumulating positives, this really has to do with how can we accumulate other things that make us feel different emotions. And so if you work with me, you know that I use a lot of imagery and metaphors and sometimes get a little silly. And so what I usually tell people is literally, how can you accumulate different positives in your life? How can you pick up different things? So what that might mean is if you're feeling, let's say that you have been with your family for a full week, you guys have been arguing or at least maybe not communicating effectively, you might go for a walk. And if you enjoy being outside, as I do, so this is something that I do, you might walk and try to accumulate as many positives as you can while you're walking. So for me, that might be, we're getting close to spring. I'm going to start looking for those robins or those other birds. That's one positive, right? I might also be looking for different kinds of trees or different kind of colors on the leaves, another positive. If the sky's blue and the clouds are out, how many cool clouds can I see? That's another positive. So we really want to focus on accumulating different positives, whatever that may mean for you.
And then we have build mastery. And again, because there's not a whole lot else going on, this is a perfect time to start building mastery.
Literally great.
And so what building mastery does for us is it gives us this sense of confidence. It gives us a sense of hey, I can actually do this. So identifying something in your life that you're currently working on or have been wanting to do for a while, but just haven't had the time to do it, and starting to really hone in on it. Something that is important to remember as we are building mastery is that we want to be realistic about what our capabilities are. So would I like to be going to Greece on this 2-week hiatus? Of course I would. And building mastery in trip planning and traveling and actually going on the trip, not realistic right now. So making sure that we have goals that are actually possible for what we're working with right now. Trip planning and saying in May, I'm going to go on a backpacking trip and getting all of the logistics together, a little bit more manageable. So mastering something smaller and within the capabilities of what's going on right now is going to be what we're shooting for. I also ideally would like to start embroidering. So that would be accumulating positives, hopefully one day, mastery.
Yeah, so like Bree said, we really want to focus on things that are within our reach and that we're able to do. So like Bree said, maybe she won't be able to build mastery in going to Greece. Similarly, I'm not going to build mastery in playing guitar. It's something that I want to do, right? It's something that I love doing. And I know that when I try, it actually makes me feel really frustrated because I just can't seem to get my hands right, right? So even though that's something that might accumulate some positive emotions, music, seeing someone else play guitar, for me, building mastery, that's going to make me feel frustrated. And so right now, that might not be something that I do to build mastery. So think about some of your short-term and long-term goals and what is realistic within them. How can you build mastery in those moments? Mm-hmm. The next one we talk about is coping ahead. This is especially important. It is crucial. Now,
we did this your last day of group.
Yes. And so what Cope Ahead does is it helps give us concrete plans for what is coming. So for example, like we talked about on that last day of group, you're going to be in your home environment or whatever it is that you live for 2 weeks. And you're probably going to be feeling some anxiety because of the news and the media and just not being able to come to treatment and see the people that make you feel safe. And so what you want to try to do is develop a cope ahead plan for the things that are coming. Are you going to be having dinner every night with your family? Is that a stressful time? We can cope ahead for that. And the nice part about this is that even though you can't come to treatment, you can use phone coaching with your therapist to help you cope ahead for whatever's coming. So you really want to get really specific with your cope ahead plan, right? You don't want to just say, oh, I'm not going to see Bree for 2 weeks, and so I'm just going to deal with it and I'll text her once a day, right? That might be helpful. And what I really want to do is create that plan for not being with my coworkers. What am I going to do in that 2 weeks? What time am I going to wake up? What time am I going to exercise? What meals am I going to make? For me, getting really specific with the cope ahead plan yields for a much more effective cope ahead plan, and it's going to help me a lot.
Yeah. So like if something that is stressful or anxiety provoking for you is like dinner with family, thinking about what specifically is it that is making you anxious? Is it the meal? Is it what sister might say? Is it grandma's coming over? Whatever it is, getting really specific and breaking down what skills you can use and what you can do for each specific emotion or situation that might be coming up. Like if you're checking the facts, rather than writing check the facts, write down exactly what facts you might need to be checking. So getting as specific as possible. And something else that we like to emphasize is that you really, and I will preface this with, if you need to use phone coaching after doing this, definitely do, or even before, by all means use phone coaching. We're all still available to you via that. Sometimes visualizing those intense emotions and visualizing those conversations. And then in that moment of visualization and imagery, being able to use those skills to see just how effective they really are. And that just can better prepare you for actually going into the reality of the situation.